Welcome to Subramani. Very funny case of, I wouldn't say funny, at least he was warned at the right time. He's a person who was looking for a job and he was not making any progress, right? I'm not even saying he or she was not making any progress, and so suddenly one day when this person got a job offer, he started getting very excited and started filling up the form. So after he filled up the form and he almost got the job, they said, "Oh, you're perfectly right. It is completely remote. You have to work from home in India and things like that." And said, "We need a lot of details from you. We will do a penny drop into your account to know that, to confirm that this is your account. We need your PAN card, Aadhaar card. We may even have to fly you out to US to check out on what's happening and things like that." And he went along till suddenly one day he felt, this is too good to be true. They're paying me as much as I asked for. The interview, nothing. He was not able to speak to anybody. Everything was online. The interview was online. They asked him questions which he had to reply and things like that, and they had taken a lot of details from him. But then suddenly he held back, and then he went and did a search on LinkedIn, spoke to some of the people, and he found that the whole thing was just not true. Largely it was a kind of a phishing expedition where they would have said, "Okay, give me your bank details, we will do a penny drop, maybe drop $1 into your account." But if they have your PAN card, Aadhaar card, bank account, everything, they can do whatever you want with the data, right? So he had given away most of his data but not his bank account, because that's when he stopped and said, "Why are they asking me for my bank account?" And they said, "We will do a drop in a penny drop, right? We will do a penny drop. We will not, we didn't want more, we don't want a copy of your checkbook or things like that." They were just confirming. So which means every detail of yours was being asked for. Without you getting anything in return. That's fine, because you are spending your time, and there it's just perhaps some software or some guy sitting there and collecting, or some girl sitting there and collecting all these details. So sometimes you realize in the market that when you get something which is too good to be true, it is perhaps too good to be true. Don't fall for it. For example, as an old investor, I have one advantage, that I don't have to look at every new opportunity which comes up. So here was a broker offering that, leave your shares with me, I will do F&O for you, I will use these shares. So this is like a share lending kind of a scheme, and I will give you 1% per month. This is very common, and I know fund manager, employees of mutual funds falling for such schemes, which is completely ridiculous to think that you can do share lending and make money, you can do staking and make money, which is the cryptocurrency word for share lending, so crypto lending. So I've stayed away from crypto markets. I remember one old scheme where they would say, "Oh, again you can do lending against commodities, or you can do borrowing against commodities." Largely it was lending against commodities, and I was told I will get 12% risk-free return. This was at a time when the State Bank of India deposit was 8%. So I talked to that girl who called me and who said, "Oh, you will get 12% return risk-free." And I said, "Look, if it is risk-free, it should not be 12%, it should be 8%. If it is stable, it should be a bank deposit. It cannot be a commodity trading where you are basically putting money on interest, right? So how can it be stable, guaranteed, and be 12%, which is 400 basis points above the State Bank of India fixed deposit?" This was long back, and of course a lot of people lost money in that. The jury is still out whether that guy is guilty or not guilty. I didn't like the name of his company itself. When you form a company which is very close and very similar to an existing successful stock exchange, that itself should have raised some heckles, but people didn't bother to ask what are the questions. How can you be paying 12%? What is so stable about it? Or a stable coin saying, "I will give you 12% return." I'm sure that you can earn a little more than the GSEC of 7%. Maybe you can earn 8%, 8.5%, but trying to get 20% return, if somebody tells you that he can get you or she can get you 20% return without any risk, there is something wrong. Why is he paying you 20% when there is no risk? When there is no risk, State Bank of India pays me 6% or 7%, right? On their bank, on my savings bank account, they pay me less than 2%. Maybe they pay me 2%, right? So when there is no risk, there should be no premium. When there is risk premium, you have to understand that there is risk, and that risk is what is being why you are being quoted a higher rate. And how can it be really risk free? I don't know why people think that all such things can be got risk free, or they think that oh, everybody in the financial service industry is a charlatan promising 20% return. Both are not true. Just because somebody promises you a 33% return or a 20% return, or shows you a track record saying look at this fund of house of ours. I know one company which is selling or rather one bank which is selling ULIPs, showing the performance of mutual funds of the same group, right? Like if I come to you and say, look, this XYZ ULIP will give you 33%, and here is the fund house, the same fund house, same name. Obviously one is a mutual fund and one is an insurance company, and saying look how much return they have given in similar fund which is a balanced fund. This is the kind of return that they have given in the past, so we will continue to give this in the future, right? This is how things are told to you. Now when it is fairly obvious that my friend was being led up the garden path asking for details. If it had been an US employee, they would have asked for the social security number. We don't know what somebody does with all this data. I'm not saying that, but definitely there was no job at the end of it. There was no retainership fee, salary, no work coming. It was just a phishing operation to collect data, and absolutely genuine data, right? You have your PAN card, Aadhaar card, date of birth is verified, you do a penny drop, the bank account details are there. You literally know everything about that person. Then you can really misuse that as you wish. Of course, if it's in the US, it is a social security number which gives you all the details, right? So the kind of pushback that I receive on my channel saying, oh, you old people don't understand crypto, I live with that. Old people don't understand F&O, you don't know what fun it is to do trading. True, I can live with all of that. I don't need to do, and even if I do it, I don't need to publicize it, right? I can be like I keep saying, I can be a day trader, I can be a trader against delivery, I can be a value investor, I can be a deep value investor, I can be all of that without having been being accountable to anybody, right? Because I'm on my own, I'm not trying to sell you anything, I'm not here to give you advice, I am just here to run my channel. I have fun. And when I see misery in the road because people believed some nonsense by somebody, then you feel like getting up and saying, look, I'm not comfortable with this idea that somebody is being looted, and I'm sitting quiet about it. In fact, one regulator employee told me, Subra, you're doing more for financial education than what we should be doing, right? So I'm not naming him or her again, but you have to understand that none of the high yields come without any risk. So if you have got risk, if you have taken risk, you have bought Tesla shares and they've gone up so much, maybe some risk has to be removed. You have to take some risk off the table and put it somewhere, because Tesla is a share which can have a very high standard deviation. It can go to 100, it can come to 44, it can go back to 100, it can go maybe even to 200, right? So you have to be careful as to how much it can go from where you bought, and so how much of concentration risk you want to take. But more important than that is concentration risk is something which you did, but believing what somebody else says, that you can give your shares to me, I'll give you 1% per month, does not make any sense. Why would that person be able, how would that person be able to give it to you? Maybe that person can give it to you, but do you understand what that person is doing? If you don't, then you're taking risk. Go back to the original definition of risk by Buffett. If you don't know what you're doing, that is the risk that you're taking. So individuals should know what kind of risk they are taking, corporate should know what kind of risk they are taking. And another problem with all these guys is, yeah, I know you have lost money, but you will get it all back from the same people. Again, you don't. If you put 100 rupees, you have lost it, don't go and put another 100 rupees, right? It was Gandhiji who said, if somebody slaps you on one cheek, go and offer the other slap. That is what people do in financial services. They go back to the same person who cheated them and say, oh, okay, now I've lost 75 lakhs. Can you recover 75 lakhs for me by doing different trades? And that person says, yes, sir, I think we should recover that 75 lakhs. There is no such rule in the world that the market takes away 75 lakhs from you, it will give it back to you, right? The only place where it is guaranteed that you will get back what you have lost is weight. You try losing weight, then for 15 days you don't do anything, you eat gulab jamun, you eat rasgulla and all that, have fun, and then you will realize that the weight of 15 rasgullas is 3 kilos, right, or 15 gulab jamuns is 3 kilos, that you will find out, right. So just understand all this. There is risk. If somebody says something which is too good to be true, it is too good to be true. At least get into researching it, finding out about it, talking about it, ask on Twitter, ask on Facebook, wherever, I don't know, LinkedIn, ask about it, talk to people about it, search for that person, what that person is doing, what that person is saying, is there a connect or is there a disconnect. Find out all that, and then maybe a little hesitatingly put a small amount of money, maybe 1% of your net worth and not more than that. Thank you.